G'day football fans and welcome back to episode 10 of our Wolves career mode here on Dylan on the Ball. My name is Dylan and today we'll be playing the FA Cup 5th round against Southampton Football Club. As the season is progressing, we are in the hunt for Europe. We're also in the hunt for a bit of silverware with the FA Cup. Before we get to what's happened since you were last here, I will just remind you to please leave a like down below. Subscribe if you like in the series, or if it's the first time here and maybe you just like the sound of my voice. I don't know, you might be weird. Also in the description down below there are the social medias, Twitter and the Instagram. There's plenty going on both of those. Now that's out of the way, since you were last here, we have had 2 games. They are against teams also challenging for a European place, first of which was Tottenham Hotspur. Early on here we did manage to get an overlap down our left hand side. It was Ryan Aitnouri sending in a beautiful cross into the path of Yusuf Poulsen, who got between Davinson Sanchez and, is that Romero maybe? To fire a header in high into the net past Hugo Lloris, who again, I think this happened in the first time we played them where he just couldn't deal with headers. Not sure if we figured something out there. Then Ryan Aitnouri did get himself his first goal of the season. He broke through this time with sort of an inverted run. He tried to cut it back before the ball sort of fortunately fell at his feet. Took one touch to set himself and then placed it into the far side netting. Again, as he does the Ronaldo celebration, giving Lloris no chance that time. They did get one back here. It was Harry Kane trying to cut the ball back, intercepted by Nelson Semedo coming back. He did try to cut it out but couldn't deal with it, setting the ball there for Lucas Moura to fire it into the back of the net. They did try to come back. They were coming hard, and luckily for us, on the break, we were able to just set Yusuf Poulsen through there as their defence was trying to reset. And he gets himself a goal that isn't with his head, which is beautiful to see. That's a big 3 points in our chase for Europe. Next, we hosted Leicester, and it was another tale of the left back putting in a big cross, this time for the onrushing João Moutinho into the box. Of all people, gets in front of his man, Marcelo Brozovic. Man, this Leeds team had some weird signings, like Eric Dyer, you can see there, as well as Marcelo Brozovic. I think they had Francesco Acerbi, however you say it. Anyway, nothing their signings could do about it. It was then 2-0. A great through ball there for Raul Jimenez, who had turned his man, and the pass right into his path, able to pass that one past Kasper Schmeichel. Just before the break, Jamie Vardy grabbed one back. Adam Ola-Lookman had made a good run down the left-hand side, drew in the defence, and got to the byline before cutting it back for Vardy on the penalty spot to fire in low and hard beyond Jose Sarr for 2-1. We made it 3-1 just after the break. It was Daniel Podence. Not entirely sure how the defence allowed him to run that far. And then Eric Dyer is deceived by a little, I don't know if you'd call it a drop of the shoulder or just a little, I mean in basketball you'd call that a hesitation move or a hezi. But anyway, he's fired it past Schmeichel and it's 3-1, that's all we care about. Things got even better for us. This time it was Moutinho turning provider for João Pedro at the far post to steal in ahead of his defender and power it past Kasper Schmeichel, who from that sort of range doesn't have a lot of hope. They grabbed one more back to make it 4-2. We had just hit the post at the other end and they sprinted down the other end, and Youri Tielemans in off the post past Jose Sarr. He was just left a bit too open at the edge of the box. But 4-2, it would finish in another big game in our chase for Europe. So those 2 big results, we are now in 6th position. We are 1 point ahead of Leicester, 2 points behind Spurs, with a game in hand on both. So if we are to win that one, which you can see on the right hand side is at home against Crystal Palace, we'll actually move up into 5th and only be 1 point behind Arsenal in 4th. So despite that uneasy period throughout December, January, I guess, with results against Liverpool, City, Brighton, and was it Brighton? I think it was Brighton, and Manchester United not going our way. We're still in the hunt, we're still up there, we're still chasing that European place, and we're hoping that despite no real marquee signings or anything like that, we can make a huge difference just with the way that we've been playing and the way that we've set up the team. I guess number one difference you can see as we look at the table here, we've scored 72 goals. We're almost 20 ahead of anyone else, and that is ridiculous. Clearly defensively, yeah, needs some work, but going forward we are the most elite of the elite, really. And before we get to today's game against Southampton, we will just have a quick look at the bottom of the ladder, which does have sort of your usual suspects in Norwich and Brentford, but then Southampton somewhere in there, but then back to sort of normality with Watford and Burnley not too far away. Norwich definitely struggling, but that is exactly what you'd expect, I suppose. But I guess with 11 games to play, even the teams up in 13-14 in Newcastle and Crystal Palace aren't necessarily out of it. If Southampton win the next couple, that puts them up to 29 points, looking like a bit of a logjam down there, and it might be that one unlucky team that ends up getting it and going down. So just before kickoff, we'll take a quick look at the lineups. Our side's a little bit rotated, but that is just that's just to try and get somewhat of a normal side out the following fixture, because we only have a few days between our matches here. So our lineup will be Jose Sarr, Johnny, Cody, Sace and Nuri across the back line, midfield of Dendoncker, Roberts and Neves, and then up front we'll have Hwang, Poulsen and Trinchao. As for Southampton, it is a bit of an odd lineup, especially when you look at the centre-back pairing of a quite tired Livramento playing centre-back with Jack. Is that Jack Stevens? Who's Jack Stevens? Is it Jack Stevens? Is that Dale Stevens? Don't tell me that's a tired Dale Stevens playing left-back. If it is, Trinchao's going to have a ball. But surely if that's Jack Stevens, you'd put him in the centre and probably Walker Peters on the left with Livramento out on the right. I'm not too sure. Anyway, the lineup as a whole, the big 4-4-2 in play. They've got McCarthy, Walker Peters, Livramento, Salisu, Stevens, Diallo, Ward-Prowse, Armstrong, Teller, Brozier and the other Armstrong. I do recall last time we played them, which I don't think was in a video, it would have just been highlights. We did eventually go to a 4-2-3-1, just to sort of, because they were sort of playing around our defensive mid a bit too easily with their two strikers and their two midfielders, was just sort of almost like a cube with one person in the middle. Have you ever played that game at training? I can't remember what they called it, but it's sort of like a take on a rondo, I guess, except there's only four. But it was sort of like that, just with our defensive mid, and I thought just changing that up might help us out. So we may end up going to that if we're struggling through this one, but we'll see how we go in the FA Cup. As we just look at the teams, I'll just give you another quick reminder. Please leave a like down below, leave a comment, what you're thinking of the video, of the series. Subscribe if you're new around here. If you've made it this far into the video, you mustn't hate my voice too badly. And I really appreciate the support out here. I'm hoping someone else can remember what happened last time we played them, because I have no idea, gotta be honest. And it's Teller on the ball, faced by Johnny. Johnny's done well to hold him there, but hasn't got the ball. Not Johnny on the ball. Oh, here we go. Connor Cody on the ball. Let's go. Bit slow there from Yusuf Poulsen. Not exactly what we want to see only 8 minutes into a game. Man, if the second defending thing is just absurd, and the player switching, no matter what setting I seem to try, it just never works out how my brain wants it to, I guess. Maybe I'm the problem. Not our hottest start, but we do have Tyler Roberts making good ground here and putting in a ball across. And we've got a shot away, but Alex McCarthy's done very well there to get back on his feet, and I think it was Ruben Neves running in on that one. Didn't quite maybe grab a hold of that one how he would have wished. Coming up against Salisu was an interesting one, just because he's another name that I'm sort of considering. I think it was Willy Bolly that we were wanting to potentially look at other options for. As we're in the box early here. And there's a man open on the side. It's Trinchao, whose move gets read like a book. And Southampton come away easily and play out very well. That's the sort of areas I was talking about, I guess, where it's just super simple for them to play around our holding mid Leander Dendoncker on this occasion. But we'll I don't think I'm as concerned about it this time around. So maybe we'll press on for now, as Diallo's turned Ait-Nouri well there and got himself into some room. Can they do anything with it? They didn't last time they got in these areas. Well, this time they've played it into a good area, but Connor Cody again stands strong and wins the ball for us there. Promising signs defensively. Taking the ball forward though is less exciting so far. Although, is the defense exciting to anyone other than me? I suppose it's just exciting to me because I'm at this point used to conceding, 2 a game or something. So look at the pace there on Salisu. That's why I was looking at him, because I think it was the game earlier in the season against Southampton that I just looked at him and I was like, you know what? Maybe he's an option. Oh, we might be in. We're in. It's Trincao. We played it around the box. I laid it off for Ruben Neves. Everybody knows the sort of ability that Ruben Neves has got. We fired one, not his best effort, with his weaker foot there, straight at, or more or less straight at, Alex McCarthy, who's palmed it right into the path of Trincao, with a Jack Stevens behind him who cannot keep up. Who you'd have to think that had Kyle Walker-Peters have been at left back, like I'm certain he plays that in real life, he would have been able to keep up with him better. You'd think, but I'd like to claim that we're just too good, and Trincao would have got there anyway. We've left Brozier open down the side, and now Diallo's got a bit of space. They're not much for crossing, are they? This the bloody AI. They much prefer their cutting back, don't they? As again, Connor Cody reads that one, and Huang's offside. Look, it looked like a good option. I couldn't quite quick enough get it onto Trincao's better left foot. And as we approach half time, I know I put my foot in my mouth a lot. This has been fairly comfortable, and Huang's moving into the box, and will fire one across the keeper over the bar. Would have been good to go up to at the break. But as the referee blows the whistle, 1-0 at the half, we will absolutely take those. An FA Cup quarter-final doesn't sound too bad. Absolutely incredible scenes here, as they actually had 0 shots in that first half. I know obviously there's editing involved and you don't see some things, but there was nothing to see on their end. And that was, I think it was sort of a strong performance, especially Connor Cody. I think he was the standout there. As we'll play in Huang, he'll have another go. Oh, this time it's a good save. We sort of played that little 2-man game on the edge of the box there. Tried to, I laid it back for Ruben Neves and tried to have that draw in. Kyle Walker-Peters to then play in Huang. Maybe should have held it a little bit longer with Neves, but at the end of the day, it was a good opportunity and a good save by Alex McCarthy. So we'll swing in the corner. And headed away by that man again. Salisu, it's a good audition. I have to say, we are... this is probably one of our better performances of the season, all round. I mean, or maybe let's say more complete, just because the defence has been so lacking every other game in the season. That was just sort of aimlessly floated in there, wasn't it? Hopeful of someone getting on the end of it. Didn't have a target necessarily. And we might pay for it here with is that Teller sprinting through? Oh, but Johnny's got back very well there, hasn't he? And played it out for a throw in. Good! Man, I hope you guys can't hear it on the mic, but there is a fly absolutely doing my head in here. Just keeps flying by the screen, and little Oates in the background. You might have heard him earlier. Just having a bloody field day trying to sprint after the thing. Although, as I say that, I've had a little spin around. He is out for the count. Little fella. We'll tuck it out from 4 attempts at trying to get a fly. But Hasenhuttl, Hasenhuttl has been rather good recently. As has Ruben Neves. Good hit there. This one was less of a clear opportunity. I just sort of laid it off just because Poulsen wasn't facing the goal. I thought it would be better to have someone who was, as Hasenhuttl blocks the action. But that was another Wolves opportunity in a game we've been fairly comfortable. Oh, is that another save? Jeez, McCarthy's having a good game, isn't he? Was this Poulsen's header maybe? Yes, he has won it between Teller and Armstrong. Not a great duo to be marking the big tall striker who's been banging them in from corners, but it worked out, I guess. And it's worked out that time as they've cleared it. And Connor Cody will have a hit. Oh, it's another bloody... I think they're going to... I'm going to predict what's going to happen here. Alex McCarthy's going to save 1,000 shots. And then they're going to counter and score one. And I'm not sure if the FA Cup goes straight to pens. Or if there's extra time. But that's what's going to happen. Oh, you're kidding. I was about to say we've gone for the absolute spectacular with, I think it was Tyler Roberts. The pass was way overhit for him. I just tried to sort of lob it over that defender. The clearing header, and then just lobbed it back over his shoulder. Would you believe it? Ruben Neves. We've found a way to beat Alex McCarthy. It's not conventional. It is 2-0. We're getting into that period now where most teams that we play, if they're not ahead at this point, do press forward more, and they're in the box this time. And I think that's their first shot. And it was a bit of a horrid attempt where they just sort of turned back and forward a few times and then fired it wide. I guess what I was trying to say though is this is the sort of time where they usually press forward and press a bit higher. So like usually I'd like to play a goal kick short, but as you see here, like they've gone to a back three, it looks like. Maybe that's just this moment in particular, I'm not sure. Oh, if that's a bit further back, that's a goal for Yusuf Poulsen, surely. I do think they've changed formations. I'm not too sure though. Oh, that's a good pass. That's a great pass. And now it's, who's that? Raspadori. And that says Iwobi, but I don't think that's Alex. Oh, that's a goal. Are you for real? Was that Dendonka stood there like bloody muppet? They hate a cross, don't they? And then they end up cutting it back to the edge of the box. Leander Dendonka's sat there watching. And Ward-Prowse walks onto it, waltzes into the box, no eyes on him, and fires it past Jose Sarr, who would be livid right now. And I know how he feels. 1 goal in it with 10 minutes to go, and this is now the territory I'm talking about with the Alex McCarthy performance, where they could nick one, and all of our hard work and good performance is for nothing, as Walker-Peters is able to just carry the ball up the field, more than half the length of the pitch, surely. We've held them out that time. There's a throw on there for Roberts, I think that is. Oh, and he's played onside there. We're in behind. We'll lay it across. Whang. It's 3-1. And surely now, we're safe and through in the FA Cup. Not as pretty a goal as you saw earlier with Ruben Neves' acrobatics, but just as important, as it puts us up 3-1 and possibly just out of reach of Southampton here. They have a chance here to make it look closer than it has been. With Shane Long out on the wing, refusing to cross the ball. And Jose Sá making a big save at the end of it. I don't know who that was. It was maybe, if I had a guess, it was Saiz or Cody. Cody it was. Who just sort of, I don't know, sat on the ball. Leaving it for them about 6 yards out. And with Jose Sá having to make a big save. We had that one clear. There's been 2 more minutes than the referee said there would be. And they'll get another one back. 2.5 minutes after the referee should have blown his whistle. But it's 3-2. Not sure why he's chipped that. Not sure why Roman Saiz has sprinted past him there instead of trying to get the ball. But whoever the hell Raspadori is has put it into... I was going to say put it into the top corner, but it looks like Jose Sá has put it into the top corner with a touch there. To make it 3-2, and surely as soon as I pass this, it's over. Closer than it had to be, closer than it should have been, but we win. I guess at the end of the day, it does not matter how many you win by in the FA Cup, just that you win. As we take a look at the goals, and it was underway with Trincao getting on the score sheet. We set up Ruben Neves for a hit on the edge of the box, parried by Alex McCarthy, as was a common theme throughout the game. This time it was straight into the path of an on-rushing Trincao for 1-0. Then after a plethora of Alex McCarthy saves, a very fortunate sort of mix-up clearance where if you look at it closely, it was Walker-Peters headering it into Livramento that made it fly over towards Ruben Neves, who over his shoulder, volleying it backwards. Not quite a bicycle, not quite a scissor kick or anything like that, just sort of a volley. They made it a close game as Raspadori could not be tackled off the ball by Aït-Nouri, cut it back for an unmarked open James Ward-Prowse, who could hardly miss, and made it 2-1. As they pressed forward, we found a lot of space in behind. It was a couple of passes out from the back, and Trincao was through, supported well by Hwang, and I think it was Neves making a run up in there. And at the end of the day, I guess Neves' run has sort of taken Walker-Peters away from Hwang, who's fired that one in and got not given McCarthy much of a chance. With time well and truly over, or what should have been over, I guess, Giacomo Raspadori, which is, I know I said before I had no idea who he was, but he does have just a great name. Giacomo Raspadori, with a rasping shot into the far top corner past Jose Sá. So we progress in the FA Cup, as you see here in the quarterfinal stage, or what they're calling round 6. We are going away to Carrow Road against Norwich, with hopefully a trip to Wembley on the horizon at the end of that one. As for next video, we'll have played 2 more games. It'll be the game, as you see on the right hand side there, against Crystal Palace, which hopefully puts us into the top 5. Then the cup game against Norwich, so hopefully I have good news for you there. And then what we'll come back for is game against Leeds. I guess they're sort of a bit of a hot team at the minute with the change in manager. Hopefully for the state of that club, it is a good change. I do love what Marcelo Bielsa has brought to the club, but I guess it'll be sort of a tribute to him as we hopefully thump them like they've been getting thumped recently, basically. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like down below, comment what you're thinking of the series, what you think we should maybe do going on from here. If you haven't made it this far, please do make sure you do subscribe so you don't miss any more action. Don't miss our potential trip, I guess, to Wembley and the oncoming potential European football. And until next time, when we go again in the nitty-gritty part of the season, peace.